What up, New York Giant Nation and football fans all over the world? It is your boy, Mac the Giants fan, and this is the real deal NFC East Round-Up. Punch that intro.
Cash flow. It's your lead.
To another edition of the Real Deal NFC East Round-Up. As y'all see, I'm here doing on a solo mission tonight for right now. Adam is taking care of some family business. He may possibly be able to join later. We'll see. Family always first, so he's taking care of some family business right now, and hopefully he can join later. But to start off, I want to just let y'all know, your boy Matt the Giants fan is only human. I'm a little under the weather right now, so I'm gonna do my best to move through this, and let's take it away, man. Hope everybody had a very Merry Christmas out there too. I hope everybody had a great holiday. I know I did, man, and I just hope everybody continues to have a great holiday season. But let's get started, man. NFC East this week was another interesting weekend. The Eagles were the only winners in the division this week. But we'll get right to it, man. We're talking about them in a little bit. Start off up in the Meadowlands. New York Jets hosting the Washington Commanders. This has been an interesting last few weeks for the Washington Commanders, man. I've really been thinking they've been time to sink their teeth in, getting some good evaluation on young quarterback Sam Howell, seeing what they maybe direction they need to go into the offseason. I think we got a much clearer picture of that this past Sunday. So Washington Commanders went down again, another heartbreaker to the New York Jets, 30-28. Sam Howell once again just another very poor performance for the young man, unfortunately, and I think his fate may be just about sealed. It's not looking like they're going to continue. They're going to go forward with him. As a matter of fact, they have already named Jacoby Brissett the Week 17 starter. It's been a lot of quarterback shuffling going on league wide, but yeah, this one seems like it's a foregone conclusion, man. I think it's official. You could put the Washington Commanders probably in that QB market come April and come to draft, man. They're going to probably be right in the mix, looking to upgrade the quarterback position. And, I don't know. The future of Sam Howell is kind of looks like it may be kind of in the air now at this point. I'm not sure what to expect. Young man has really had some high moments during the course of the year, but he's here lately. He's had nothing but low moments, man. While he was in the game, he started the game on Sunday against the Jets. He went 6 of 22 for 56 yards and two interceptions, man. That's just never going to get it done. Obviously, they were down big early in the game. They throw in Jacoby Brissett, and his team came roaring back. It was an immediate impact. So, this Washington Commanders team, it's been a mess pretty much the entire second half of this season. Promise early in the year, it appeared to be a team that had some serious potential earlier in the year. Like I said, Sam Howell had some really high moments, man. But this team, I don't know, they just can't seem to. They haven't been able to seem to figure things out, and they are now absolutely one of the worst teams in the league right now. Currently, I would say bottom two or three team. To be honest, this team has just been absolutely terrible for basically the entire second half of this season. It pretty much kind of got started with the New York Giants matchup, and it's just been downhill ever since then. So, excuse me. But as far as this team has some serious needs on both sides of the football, defensively as well. Need to really tighten some things up defensively, as we know the moves they made during right before the trade deadline, trading their two best edge rushers. They're going to need to figure that out again, and they're going to need to get a couple more guys in there. As this team did not even record a sack on Sunday. What's going on? No Mets, no Nets, no Jets. How you feeling, man? I hope you had a good holiday, brother. But yeah, so this team's gonna have to definitely figure some things out and definitely tighten up some stuff, man. But like I said, they're gonna be. I think the issue here is that they're just yet another team that is now looking like they're gonna be in the way of the New York Giants coming to quarter when it comes to the draft and that big quarterback market that's out there. Those prospects. They're gonna be another team picking ahead of the Giants that we may have to worry about what they're going to do and who they're going to take. If they're going to take maybe a guy the Giants want off that board, because this team, I feel like it's a foregone conclusion. Yeah, I'm definitely a little bit under the weather, man. I'm trying to hang in here, man, but you know how that goes, man. Something definitely going around. A lot of people at my job sick, so it is what it is. I'm a trooper, man. I'm a trooper. But yeah, I think it's a foregone conclusion. This team is probably going to look to upgrade a position. I know. I think Sam Howell had a chance at kind of locking that down and holding and really putting a strong arm on on the quarterback spot here in Washington. But it's just looking like it's not meant to be, man. I don't know what it is. If it's just something that's not working for him, I don't know if he's just completely shell shocked. The kid has been absolutely harassed all season. He's been sacked a ton. I don't know if the pressure finally got to him. They say pressure busts pipes, man. And unfortunately, that may be the case here for Sam Howell, man. I think he's shown enough that he definitely has a future in this league in some capacity. Definitely as a backup, maybe the next couple of years somewhere, or and maybe even he can get a opportunity to start again, another opportunity to start because he has proven that he has an ability to get some things done, man. But as of right now, it's not looking like that's going to be probably the direction Washington's going in. Like I said, if they were really serious about Sam Howell at this point, I think they would still just keep giving this kid another opportunity. The fact that they're going with Jacoby Brissett this week against the 49ers, then it tells you everything you need to know about how they're feeling about Sam Howell these days over there in Washington. So, the coaching situation, who knows what's going to happen with Ron Rivera? It's just looking like it's probably going to make some changes there as well. This team is going to be an interesting team to keep an eye on during the off season because there's going to be a lot of things going on, a lot of moving parts, and we will see what happens, how they address things in the off season with the coaching situation, like with the defense, like I said, the quarterback situation. No mess, no nest, no Jets. Says Washington will go for a quarterback, new ownership. They need to build that O line first. Yeah, they need a lot of things they need to do in Washington. I mean, they're a team similar to our New York Giants, man. They just have a lot going on. A lot needs to be addressed, and a lot needs to happen, man. So we will see what happens with the Washington Commanders going forward, man. But it's been a tough road for them these last couple of months, man, for sure. Um, let's move on a little bit. Speaking of Washington, they got a tough one on Sunday against and what's going to be an angry 49ers team, man, coming to town. 49ers coming off of a huge loss to the Baltimore. Future that 49ers coming off a big loss. 49ers coming off a big loss, man, and against Baltimore on Sunday. And that's going and they're going to be coming in angry to deal with the Washington Commanders, man. And the Washington Commanders are just a team that has been reeling. I think it doesn't really matter who starts this one against this 49er team on Sunday. They're going to come in and it's going to be a rough rough towing for them, man. It's going to be It's going to be a long day at the office for whoever is back there for the 49, whether it's Jacoby Brissett, who will be getting the start, but if everything goes smooth or doesn't go right and they want to go back to Sam Howell, it's still going to be rough, man. I think this 49er team has a lot for now. The NFC conference is all muddled up, even at the top and at the bottom of the for the playoff seeding. Right now, you still very much have the 49ers, Eagles, and the Cowboys still all, and Detroit, everybody, all four of those teams all in the mix for a number one seed. So this season's coming down, going to go right down to the wire, man. Week 18, you're going to have these teams all probably playing their guys. There's not going to be a lot. You're not going to see a lot of guys sitting out in Week 18 because there's still going to be so much to play for amongst all these teams. Not even just, and then those are the big team, top teams in the conference. Then you still also got teams battling for that 6, 7 seeds. They're all muddled up, similar records. It's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be like teams have a lot to play for coming down the wire. So, like most seasons where certain teams have certain things locked up, it's not quite like that this year. It's going to be a lot of guys battling things out all the way to the end. And this one, I can't say I give Washington much of a chance in this game. I think I just can't imagine. I can't see something in my head that I think they come out and have a chance against this 49er team that's going to be coming in, like I said, angry, hungry, and with something to prove because they went against an elite Baltimore team on Monday night and at home, and they lost. To be quite frank, they went out there and they didn't look like the team that we thought they were. We know Baltimore is a very good football team, obviously, but the 49ers they just looked bad on the second half of that game. So I think they're going to come out and want some redemption. And the best redemption for teams is going against a bad football team, man. Following a bad loss is getting a bad football team the following week and being able to take all that frustration out on them. What's going on, Wells, man? Hope you had a good holiday, bro. Thanks for stopping in. But yeah, so really have much more on Washington, man. I think this is a team in turmoil right now. And we'll see what happens. We'll see how they can finish their season up, try to finish out strong, make a move, go on with Jacoby Brissett, and we'll see how that works out for him, man. But let's move on to another team that the last has had a rough last couple of weeks, and that would be the Dallas Cowboys. This Dallas Cowboy team went down to South Beach following up after a big loss against the Miami Dolphins. The following week, thought they were going to be able to maybe rebound, going against a team in the Miami Dolphins, which I consider one of the more fraudulent teams in this league. Had not recorded a victory against a team with a winning record all season, and that changed on Sunday when they faced the Dallas Cowboys, as they did get out of there with the W, 22-20. This was a game that seemed like it was going to come down. It went down kind of the way they played out, where the last team with the ball was going to pretty much get the job done. I mean, turnovers the turnovers told the story in this one, man. Cowboys had a crucial turnover early in this game, right inside the 5-yard line, fumbling the football as they were trying to go into the end zone, and they never really recovered from that. To be honest, they never truly recovered and never were able to get things going, man. I mean, Dak Prescott had him, 20 for 32, 253, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns. Normally, for most people, that's a pretty solid day. But for a guy like Dak Prescott, you look for a little bit more, especially in a big game, in a big situation. The Cowboys really needed this game, and it was disappointment they weren't able to go down there and get the job done. I mean, now they have switched places with the Eagles once again, and they are back in the second place, and they're on the outside. I mean, they're looking up at the Eagles again, Cowboys sitting in that fifth seed, and right now they're on the verge of having the first round of the playoffs, as opposed to being able to have that instead of being able to be home in Dallas. Now, everything can still change. Everybody still has a couple games left, but The way schedules are sitting right now, the Dallas Cowboys are there's a little tougher road for the Dallas Cowboys than it is, for instance, for the Philadelphia Eagles. Uh, Tony Pollard has just been, he's been really pretty, you know, modest all season, to be quite frank. This one only 12 carries for 38 yards. Have no idea why the Cowboys don't, why they abandon the run game the way they do. But I guess they try to put the ball in their quarterback's hands and hope that he can deliver. And, sometimes he can, sometimes he can't. I mean, Dak Prescott has been one of those guys where people have questioned his ability on the bigger stages and the bigger games. This is an opportunity he had to shut people up, man, big time. And I just think once again he kind of fell short of that. Not trying to put this all on him. I'm not trying to put it all on Dak Prescott, obviously, but you the quarterback, you the highest paid player on the team, you the you the man. The quarterbacks are who the league protects, obviously, as we see. I mean, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole talking about these, all these ridiculous roughing the passer penalties we've been seeing all season long, but they're protecting quarterbacks. So that's who you got to put the onus on a little bit. These guys got to be able to get it done. And if you want to be considered one of the best, you got to be able to go out there and win football games like this one. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't heavy to really, really put a stronghold on the NFC East right now with this victory, especially with the way the Eagles have been playing. I mean, the Eagles have had opportunities. The Eagles have been coming up short. They came in this week on a 3-game loser streak, and they had a battle once again with the New York Giants. What's going on, Ant? Man, appreciate you stopping in, bro. Yeah, we did almost put an upset off, no doubt indeed, man. Just the way the season been going for the New York Giants, though, man. Yeah, I definitely need something, man. I'm all congested up with Wells, man, right now. I need to get something in me, man. Uh, like I said, try my best. Hope it ain't too much for y'all right now. But CeeDee Lamb is continuing to have a great year. Obviously, at the wide receiver position, another 100-yard day for CeeDee Lamb. Jalen Tolbert has been really starting to emerge for the Cowboys and the Cowboys offense as well. A few positives, I mean, but this was just definitely one that the Cowboys wish they could get back, man. After coming off that disappointing loss up in Buffalo, no doubt, man. I had to do that, man. I definitely got some over here too, so I might have to go get some of that, man. I might need that. Throw a little bit in the tea, man. But yeah, this Cowboy team, man, this is kind of the story of the Dallas Cowboys. It seems like, man, it's a team they playing well, and then they just hit these speed bump, man, going into when it's getting time getting down to the wire, man, in the season, and they just seem to hit a speed bump, and they can't quite get it done, man, and then they get into the playoffs, and then it's been recent history for the Dallas Cowboys, early exit after early exit in the postseason, so. We'll see how this works out for them, man. They are clearly going to be in the postseason, but right now they're like I said, they're going to looking like they're going to be waiting for that whoever the NFC South winner is, and will be traveling there to play in the first round as opposed to getting to stay home and play and host a playoff game down in Dallas, man. So we'll see what they can do, see how they can work it out. But coming up this Sunday, they got the Detroit Lions, and this is one of the bigger marquee matchups of the week, obviously. Two of the better teams in the conference, two of the best teams in the conference. The Detroit Lions coming off a big win, winning the NFC North, I believe, for the first time since just sometime in the '90s, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. First time they'll get to host a playoff game. So got a lot of good things for the Detroit Lions this season, man. It's been a great year for them. A team definitely was on a rise last year, as people noticed, and this team they came in and kind of kicked the door in a little bit this year, and they have rose to the top of that division. And since the past happy league, Cowboys and the Eagles abandoned running games and make them one dimensional. Yeah, that's definitely what this league is now, man. It's definitely pass happy, but in a sense, with the way they paying these quarterbacks, you almost want to see that because you got those guys got to go out there and earn their money. You can barely touch them as it is. So I mean, that's kind of what this is all about, man. These quarterbacks getting paid these crazy salaries, so they got to go out there and earn it, man. But at the end of the day, they're also trying to, I guess, show teams try to show that running backs aren't as valuable as people like me think that they truly are. You know, some of the star running backs that people try not to pay. I feel like teams are trying to devalue them by going with more pass happy offensive schemes, man. But Detroit's had some up and downs moments this season as well, man. We know we can go back to Thanksgiving and what happened to them against the Packers and that game, and they've had a couple other moments like that this season. But overall, it's been a really strong year. Their offense is absolutely one of the best, most prolific offenses in the league, and they're not easy to defend. Dallas is going to have their hands full, but this is an absolute must-win for the Dallas Cowboys if they want to have any chance at an NFC East title or at least the second, because I think the first seed might honestly be about pretty much kind of not really. It will take a lot for the Cowboys to get up to number one seed now, I believe, considering the 49ers own the tiebreaker on them, and the Eagles just have a much softer schedule for these last couple of games. So, and this one, I think the Detroit Lions. I don't know. I think Dallas does find a way to pull this one out. What was that? Wells in New Jersey says, I heard a crazy stat on the radio today. Almost 50% of the league is playing with backup quarterbacks. Yes, a lot of backups going on, man. Russell Wilson also got the axe in Denver. They're starting their backup quarterback this week. The Giants are starting Tyrod Taylor. Jacoby Brissett I already mentioned earlier at the top of the show, and then just all around the league, plenty of other backups going all around, man. This has been a weird season for quarterbacks. A lot of backup quarterbacks, a lot of rookie quarterbacks have been playing. It's been a weird season, man, when it comes to that. A lot of quarterbacks getting injured, getting hurt. But like, yeah, I feel like it's a lot of backup quarterbacks out there. Not too many QBs this season survived the whole season, unfortunately. And that's the importance in having a good, solid, reliable backup quarterback as well. You need look at right now. Cleveland Browns have struck lightning in the bottle, man. They went and got old man Joe Flacco, man, and it just seems to be working out right now. They had a championship level defense already. They bring a guy like Joe Flacco in, old veteran that was able to keep them afloat, man. Keep this team relevant and keep this team winning football games, and they're going to go into the playoffs with a real opportunity, man, over there in the AFC, man, because they're playing really good football out there in Cleveland. So we'll see how that works out for them. But I do like the Dallas to rebound finally this week. I think they will find a way to get it done against the Detroit Lions team that may not be quite as hungry. I think Detroit's the type of, they're not saying that they're just happy to be there, but they kick that they hit a milestone, a bit of a milestone, get to host their first. They'll be hosting their first home game in Ford Field ever in a few weeks. Regardless, I don't think Detroit really has much of a chance of getting number one seed either, even though they technically are mathematically in the mix for it. I don't think it's really a realistic chance that they're going to get that either. And I think at best that they can hope for is number two seed in Detroit. But I still believe the Dallas Cowboys here are in now full blown desperation mode, and I think that they're going to come in and they're going to find a way to put the Detroit Lions away, man. I think the defense is going to lock down, clamp down, and force some mistakes like Jared Goff and company, and then I think I can see the Cowboys winning a close one here. But that's why they play the game, and we will find out. Now let's go ahead and I'm sorry, I'm kind of cruising through this. I mean, like I said, it's a little different when I'm doing it by myself anyway. I'm gonna have my guy Adam to bounce things off of and provide his contrasting opinions, which will part of what makes this show great for me, man. I love doing it with him, but like I said, it's always family first, and he's taking care of some family business, so it's understandable, man. He'll be back next week for sure. Let's head to Philly, man. Christmas Day, man. Philly, man. I was waiting for this one. I had this one circled on my calendar, man. From when the time the schedule came out, I was planning on attending the game, but due to the New York Giants being the complete ass that they were, I refused to spend money on that product. So I was not. I did not save my money and chose not to freeze my ass off up in the stands on Christmas Day. And unfortunately, I probably did miss. I missed a pretty good ball game, man. Giants kept this game far more competitive than I expected them to be honest, because they're given a history against the Philadelphia Eagles. But the New York Giants came out, and this one was pretty admirable, like effort. Look, the Philadelphia Eagles, they are who we thought they are, who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook. Straight up, quoting Dennis Green right there, we let them off the hook in this one, big time. There was no reason the New York Giants should not have came away with a W here, man. Especially the way the second half played out. There were some terrible calls, but at the end of the day, we still did some had our own self-inflicted wounds as well. Like I said, we missed too many missed opportunities for us as well, man. Like missing wide open receivers, things of that nature, things you can't do against a team like the Philadelphia Eagles, man. And I just point out to like I was saying on my aftermath show, there was something I know people were talking about, and it was that final one of that final drive for the Philadelphia Eagles after the big touchdown pass to Darius Slayton down the sideline. The New York Giants they kicked the ball back off to the Eagles, and the Eagles just ran the ball right down the Giants' throat to run that time pretty much down and out. I mean, things like that are just not acceptable, man. In these kind of games, man, you got to be able to go out there after that big touchdown. The Giants expect the defense to come out fired up, and maybe hopefully you weren't hoping for a 3-and-out, maybe surrender one first down, maybe at the worst case scenario. But at the end of the day, they just came out. Eagles just ran the ball. I mean, and they didn't drop back and pass once on that drive. They just turned around and kept putting the ball in their running backs' bellies, and it was effective. And their offensive line completely asserted their will there, man. The offensive line just dominated on that drive for the Philadelphia Eagles, and that, to me, what kind of cost the New York Giants the game late in that game, just not being able to come up with a crucial stop when it was necessary. Yes, there were some terrible calls, like you said, Wells, but I don't want to necessarily put it all on that because the New York Giants had other opportunities and they squandered those opportunities. Like I said, that even late in that last play, Darren Waller, you got to be smarter than that, man. Get that ball in the officials' hands and let them spot that football. Maybe we can get up there and have an opportunity at two more plays. You sat there and let like almost damn near 20 seconds just tick away off the clock. Those are precious seconds at that moment in the game. You got to be more aware and smarter than that. You got to understand the situation that you're in, situation at the time, man. And then you put a situation where now you're just down to one last Hail Mary attempt, which, yes, we still had the opportunity. You got to throw the ball into the end zone, and yes, there was probably, people were questioning saying there was a missed call there too. They're not likely to get that call in that situation, honestly. You're not likely to get that call in that situation, so I'm not really mad at that one. The one I'm actually more mad about was a few plays earlier than that on that same drive was Wan'Dale Robinson down the sideline. That was one that's going to have me a little pissed off. That one there is the one that has to be called. That was clearly pass interference, and there's no reason why that was not called. There's absolutely no reason. Anybody would even have decent eyesight. Hell, even Stevie Wonder could see that was pass interference on that play, man, and that one needed to be called. And the referees been inconsistent all year. It's just been a joke. That one before the halftime that was also ridiculous. That's just one of those things that, either most times you just let something you don't let that go. Most times you don't necessarily actually the fact that you call that delay of game on the defense, and then pretty much the Eagles who just screwed up who just played poor situational football in that moment. You just bailed them out by calling that, making that ridiculous defense delay of game penalty. I mean, granted, I guess the way the rules written, it might have been technically the right call. And Bobby Okereke also needs to be smarter there. But at the end of the day, you watch that happen so often, and you watch referees kind of turn the other cheek to that. And in that situation, to pretty much gift the Eagles an extra 3 points right there when they just screwed up the situation anyway. When Jalen Hurts, instead of going out of bounds, cut back in the field of play, you just pretty much gift wrap that 3 points for the Philadelphia Eagles when the time would have clearly just run out. I agree. This coaching staff is nuts, man. It's a lot of questionable decisions that get made when it comes to this football team, no mess. And I think a lot's going to have to be evaluated, man, over the course of this offseason. Like I said, not just with player personnel, but as well with the coaches as well. I think we got a lot of the wrong pieces here. Bobby Johnson comes to mind right away. Whatever he's doing is not working, and we need a guy in here that can connect with this offensive lineman and get these guys playing better. Because even though, honestly, in my opinion, on Monday, the O line probably played one of their better games of the season, especially considering the team they were in the front that they were going up against. But it still wasn't a good performance, and it just wasn't a good performance, and it still wasn't good enough. You need to get these guys. These guys can't pick up a stunt to save their life, and something's got to give. Something is disconnect somewhere, man, and it's got to be with the coaching, man. I can't figure it out any other way. You can't tell me that all of these guys are just that untalented. It's no way. There's absolutely no way you can convince me of that. So he said that delay of game call was an inside job. Well, I mean, that was just, it was, yeah. You see that kind of stuff happening so much, and the referees can ignore it. And then there was one more glaring call that I was going to bring up, and that was on a fourth down. Giants on offense, they called that false start on John Michael Smith. That's absolute bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. The center can move his head up and down like that, looking and seeing, and especially when the quarterback's a shotgun. That's something that you see every damn play, every center, all centers league wide doing. And the call a false start on JMS there and say he made a sudden movement. All he did was move his head up and down. That's what centers do. He didn't move the ball. He didn't move forward in any way, shape, or form. That was a joke. That call was a joke. That should have been so offside. That should have been an offsides. It should have been a first down for the New York Giants because the penalty, offsides penalty, would have given the Giants enough yards for the first down. But instead, they called it the other way. Like I said, the fix was definitely in there, man, on that play as well, man. That was also killed a pretty decent drive for the New York Giants. But like I said, the New York Giants did a lot of questionable things. Like I said, play calling on some of those fourth down calls. It was bad. Like I said, you did on that one drive. You had two fourth down conversions. Then you come up there third time, you get another fourth down conversion attempt, and you pretty much do the same thing that you've just done for the last couple of times. It's like you think the Eagles weren't gonna be ready for it this time. They were clearly ready. Hassan Reddick just burst right through and stopped Saquon Barkley in the backfield. That was like when you. That's what I mean about this Giant offense. It needs to be way more aggressive, man, in situations, man, like that. Like that was when you had set up for the play action pass, something, where you could have maybe got a big playoff. And like I said, then you got the drop passes. Darren Waller dropped a big one early in the game from Tommy DeVito that who knows what that play could have turned into. He dropped. Then Tyrod missed him wide open. I mean, yeah, Tyrod was on the run, but I'm not. Look, this is the NFL, man, and you got to hit that pass, man. Darren Waller was sitting there wide open, and he would have pretty much walked into the end zone. So you got to hit that, man. So offensive line has not been a unit all year. So many different lineups. Yeah, it's been. I mean, it's been consistency with the five. Been the same five for the last, I think, up to 3 or 4 games now. But prior to that, it was different set of five every game. It was a mess, man. So Pat Graham has the eighth ranked defense with not as much talent as our defense. I agree. I agree, man. That was definitely that sudden movement. It was definitely it was just you know how that goes, man. Like they say, they had to figure out a way to make sure the Eagles didn't get things didn't fall off the rails for the Eagles, and they kind of did their part. But like I said, the Giants also had their part in this L. I mean, overall defensively, not bad considering the competition they were going against, the offense they were going against. Definitely not bad. I mean, they had their highs and they had their lows. Dory Jackson, that pick six was absolutely huge. I mean, in this game, it had a definitely big impact in this game. It was a huge one of the big plays of this game, and it was good to see a guy like that who's been under a lot of scrutiny go out there and make a play for this defense and keep this team in this game, football game, man. But end of the day, it was still wasn't quite enough. Isaiah Simmons missed a pick six that would have went to the house. I mean, a pick that would have went to the house if he could have controlled it and caught that pet and caught it. Well, like I said, this Eagles team is the same Eagles team they've been all season long, man. No surprises there. No real surprises there. This team has been. This is the exact Eagle team we've seen all season, man. And like I said, the New York Giants let them off the hook straight up. There's no other better way to put it, man, than to go and quote that Danny Green quote, man. Let them off the hook. They're nothing special. This Eagle team they're a fraudulent football team in the NFC, and they are not. I can't imagine this team is going to have the success that they had a year ago in the postseason. They're going to struggle in the postseason this year when they're going against better competition. I mean, they may coast to the NFC East title now because based off of who they're carding a game against the Cardinals, and again another game against the Giants, they may very well coast to the NFC East title, but that proves nothing. It's like they were saying on the broadcast. That's not going to wake up. That's not going to open the eyes of anybody because this Philadelphia team goes into the playoffs on a three-game winning streak against the Giants, Cardinals, and Giants again. Like that's not impressing anybody. So the Dory had a weird game. Yeah, for sure, man. Because he definitely had some. Yeah, that's exactly what it's at. They don't seem to have that. Something is a disconnect with this team with that Philadelphia Eagles team. Like I said, I put it on the fact that they came into this season losing both coordinators, two good coordinators, offensive and defensive coordinators, and it had an impact. People they weren't trying to think that was going to impact their season in any way. They thought no problem. We still got the same personnel. We got the same head coach. We got this, that, and other. But this definitely had an impact. This is not the same offense we saw a year ago that we watched a year ago. It's not the same defense either. Their Eagles defense can be had, and even with the New York Giants' lack of weapons offensively, they were still had opportunities to make some big plays against the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday. They weren't able to cash in a whole lot, but that's like I said, that's just based off a lack of talent for the New York Giants mostly. This Eagles team is definitely on the back end. They're suspect, man. They are suspect back in their secondary, and their linebacker play is it's just not good. I mean, Saquon Barkley had a pretty solid game, was getting off some decent runs in this football game. Just wish the New York Giants could have found a way to put this one away, man. I mean, it's just been too many. I mean, 10 straight losses against the Eagles in Philly, and it just gets hard to watch after a while, man. Yeah, most definitely no method. They lost their coaches in the secondary. Definitely regressed, man. James Bradbury. Yeah, maybe we did cut ties and let him walk away at the right time, man. That dude's not. He's not that guy, man. He's definitely not the guy. And they're definitely going to have to figure some things out going into this off season when they get as they get when they get close to the off season for them. I mean, obviously they're going to be playing in the playoffs, so their seasons are going to be going at least a week longer than the New York Giants, at least. But we did do a lot better than people thought. Honestly, better than I thought. Like I said, I honestly did. I thought the Eagles were going to come out and destroy us. Honestly, like I said, because not even just for the reason that we just for some Giants and for some reason usually don't tend to play very well against the Philadelphia Eagles. It's just a tough. just always a rough matchup for the Giants. It's that matchup that never usually pans out or works out. But they were able to get some things done. Like I said, some positive things done. And this New York Giant team has shown me a lot of fight over the course of the second half of the season. A lot more. I mean, they kind of got that spark from Tommy DeVito. And sure, it's like his 15 minutes of fame is definitely all the way up now. Like I said, Tyrod Taylor has been announced as the Week 17 starter. But it was still fun while it lasted with them, man. It was definitely a fun story. Good to see a local kid playing for his hometown team and making some things happen for a few weeks, man. He became quite a big story around the league for a few weeks, and it made the Giants have some degree of relevancy in the season which got away from them early in this year. It brought the Giants having a little bit of something relevant to talk about for a little bit for a few weeks, and it has fizzled out. I mean, he got off to a really slow start in this one, and it was very flat. Second half, they came out and went with Tyrod Taylor the rest of the way, and as you know, we got back into the football game and almost won it. So Tyrod, deservedly so, is getting the call as the Week 17 starter against the Rams in a game which is going to mean absolutely nothing for the New York Giants, but it's going to mean a lot for the Rams. And at this point, why not play the role of sport? He said exactly why it's time to live on from Adoree or push him to depth. To move on means somebody mean move on from Adoree. To move on from Adoree or push him to death. Yeah, I mean it's going to be a decision to be made about him. And he came out publicly this week and said that he wants to remain a New York Giant because he wants to finish the story, so to speak. That goes and tells about maybe the morale in this locker room, things that we don't necessarily know about, things behind closed doors. Because for a guy to make a statement like that, that must mean that the guys in the locker room do have some kind of form of belief and believe that this thing will start getting turned around, and he wants to stay here and be a part of that. But at the end of the day, he's going to have to earn that, man, and see what kind of sacrifices he may be willing to make as far as from a salary or whatever, because this team has way more important needs right now, and overpaying a guy like him or whatever it's going to take to keep him here, that can't happen. So a lot of tough decisions are going to get made. Like I said, Xavier McKinney is another one of those tough decisions. It's going to have to get made for the New York Giants this off season, man. But New York Giants will be hosting, like I said, the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday afternoon in MetLife Stadium. And like I said, it's a big game for the Rams. The Rams still, they're right now. I believe the way things are sitting right now, this team is in the postseason for right now. But looking to still, looking to progress their, looking to move up a little bit if they can. Although they probably won't be able to. Actually, now that I'm looking at the way things are set up, it's looking like they're pretty much just looking to maintain that six seed right now and keep Seattle at bay. Yeah, I believe it's an early game. I'll double check right quick. I believe it's a 1 o'clock game though. Yeah, it's a 1 o'clock game on Sunday. So that could also play into the Giants' favor, depending when the Rams travel over there. I mean, I know the last time the Rams came to MetLife, it was they did not have a very good day against the New York Giants. The New York Giants kicked their ass, but this is a different New York Giant football team. I like to think it's a little bit of better New York Giant football team, to be honest, but you never know, man. You never know what's going to happen. And like I said, the Rams, who still are looking to keep the Seattle Seahawks at bay and keep all the other teams at bay that they're all muffled up with down there, because this would be a huge loss for the Rams if they took an L here. This Rams team is very explosive offensively, and I'm not sure if the New York Giants defense is going to be able to keep up with them, to be quite honest, man. I think it's going to be a tough call, man. They got a couple of receivers that are just playing absolutely out of their mind. Puka Nacua, rookie sensation, Puka Nacua, and obviously the Cooper Kupp, who after he's come back from injury. The Rams' offense has gotten just absolutely explosive. They've got that running back kid. I can't remember his name offhand, but he's been just lighting the league up. Been a touchdown machine. The kid Williams, he's been an absolute touchdown machine. Over 1,000 yards on the season rushing. He's had a sensational. He's had an absolute sensational year, man. So we will see how this plays out. But I think just because the Rams are still playing for so much more, you know what I mean? I think they probably will end up edging the New York Giants out here. I think it'll be a competitive game. Though. I think it'll be a little closer than people probably might expect or think. But I think the Rams definitely will edge the New York Giants out. Probably cover that 5.5 point spread right now that's on this game right now, which is weird for Rams fans that the game is at 1. Yeah, I mean it is, but at the end of the day, the team plays their home games over there in LA. But at the end of the day, most who knows half their roster might be comprised of players from the East Coast. Might be guys from the East Coast, for all we know, man. You know who are very much used to functioning at this time of the day, man. I don't know, but it's a possibility. Though. You said there's a possibility here, man. You never know. They could also come in sleeping on the New York Giants, not realizing. I think the Giants have a little more talent than people think. I think the Giants do got some players and the way they've been playing. You really don't know what to expect. I mean, barring that New Orleans game a week ago, Giants have been playing pretty solid football over the course of the season for the most part. I know Dex hasn't been. I know he hasn't been practice. He's been real limited in practice, but I'm not sure if he's going to be out. Now Banks might be out. I've been hearing that Banks might look like he might be actually out. But I think Dex is pretty much kind of the same as he's been the last few weeks, where he's been just limited at practice, and then come game day he'll be out there. What's going on, Miz? Nice. Hope you had a good holiday, bro. Thanks for stopping in. That's what I got for Christmas. I got sick for Christmas. That's what I got. But we'll see how this one plays out, man. I can't say I have the most confidence right now. Like I said, I think just given the circumstances, the Giants have nothing to play for. A win does nothing for the Giants, honestly. Now that there's no hope for the playoffs or anything of that sort, a win does nothing for the Giants, and like I said, it just the Rams needed more. And we'll see who's hungry, who the hungrier team is. I don't mind playing a role of spoiler. I like spoiling other teams' seasons. Why not? Our season's been spoiled. We spoiled our own damn season with our disgusting play most in the beginning of the year, but we'll see, man. Yeah, man, there's something going around big time up here, man. I don't know. It's like crazy. Like a lot of people are just been getting sick. I'm just trying to get better because I got a big New Year's Eve party I'm trying to go to on Sunday, and I am not trying to be sick for that Sunday night, man. You know what I mean? So definitely want to be able to enjoy myself on New Year's Eve. So I'm definitely trying to get this cold up out of me, man. But I don't know what to expect. Like I said, Tyrod getting the ball, putting the ball back in Tyrod Taylor's hands for this one on Sunday. That tells me the New York Giants are well, they're trying to go out there and compete in this one and try to win. Which at the end of the day, I guess you understand, guys aren't going out there to tank and try to lay down for anybody under no circumstances. But I still think this one might be a little bit too much to go around. Too much for the Giants right now, just based off of what this Rams offense has been doing. It's going to be a lot to stop, a lot to handle there. So we'll see though, man. You count this team out. I counted this team out completely on Monday, and they came up short, but they definitely were right in the mix, right down to the very last play of that game. So you said Jordan Renan reported today that Shane is drafting a quarterback. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, like I said, that's where I'm at with it right now. It needs to happen. People keep trying to downplay the importance of the quarterback position and say the offensive line, this offensive line, that. Yeah, offensive line does need issues, needs to be addressed too. But the quarterback position needs to be addressed, and it's not fair for Joe Shane and them to not have to not be able to get their guy in here, a guy that they want to work with genuinely, and have an opportunity to play, man. So it's just not. It wouldn't be right. So now I think Joe Shane needs to get his guy in here, and that's just what it is. That's what it comes down to. Yeah, I mean, look, right now I think the only way they're getting Drake May Miz would be they would have to definitely do some willing and dealing on draft day. I just don't think Drake May is going to be there for the New York Giants. It's sitting at their pick right now, where they're picking at. But he's going to have to make moves. If Drake May is the guy that he wants, he's going to have to probably make moves. I mean, a lot of the little random mock drafts you've been seeing already, which means really absolutely nothing. Have the kid Jalen Daniels, the Heisman Trophy winner, getting mocked to the Giants in a lot of mock drafts I've seen. Like I said, that means absolutely nothing. But we'll see, man. We will see, man. No mess, no nets, no Jets said he needs a link to that story. I guess he's talking to you, Miz, about about Joe Shane drafting a quarterback. I think that's what it comes down to. The turnovers definitely keep this team in the game because obviously the offense is not very prolific for the New York Giants. So I do agree with you, Ant, that turnovers are key. That was a big difference in the New Orleans game where we didn't get any turnovers and kind of just got railroaded, got trashed in that game. Well, here, so in the Eagles game, turnovers definitely kept us in the game for sure. And so it's not necessarily the best recipe to, not the best formula for success, but at the end of the day, that's what's been working for the New York Giants. So they got to if they can generate the current, if they can generate the turnovers, then maybe the Giants do have a chance here, man, because that's what's definitely been winning them the games that they were winning. Shane been to 7 amazing games personally. That says it all. I mean, yeah, I mean, I can see how he's definitely that could be the guy at the top of his board and he's high on. But the reality, his situation is Drake May most likely is not getting past the number 2 overall pick. That's a strong possibility. So, like I said, I think to be in if you're in it, if they're in it for like a Caleb Williams or a Drake May, it's going to take some serious willing and dealing. I personally kind of like the kid Jaden Daniels. I think just the way this offensive line is built, you need a guy with his dynamic running ability behind the offensive line that the New York Giants have. I don't expect this offensive line to just all of a sudden become one of the top O line just next year, given where it's sitting at right now as an absolute bottom unit. So I think a kid like Jaden Daniels would fit in perfectly in this offense just because he can at least he's not a sitting duck back there. Not to say Drake May is, but at the end of it, but Jaden Daniels is a dynamic has a dynamic ability with his legs, man, and I think that's what this offense needs at quarterback. Needs a guy that can just move around and do some things and make some things happen. So we will see what happens. We'll see how it breaks down, man, come April, man. But New York Giants got to get a quarterback. They got to get a guy in here, man, because the quarterback position does make a difference, even behind this bad O line. Tommy DeVito, Tyrod Taylor, they've been playing behind this same bad O line that Daniel Jones was playing behind, and they just been more productive than Daniel Jones behind the same bad O line. Like, don't give me this offensive line is playing better. No, the quarterback is just making them look a little bit better. That's what it comes down to, man. Look, I gave Daniel Jones every chance I could give him, man. He's not the guy. Got to cut the cord, man. Cut the damn cord. He's not the guy. He's not the guy here anyway. It's just not going to be. It's not. There's not going to be a happy ending for Daniel Jones in New York. So, guys, got to move on, man. You have to. It's time. That 5 years enough is enough. It's not. It's not opening. It's not going to work out for the kid here, man. Maybe I wish him the best. He can go on and maybe be successful somewhere else, but I can't. Been here in New York. All hints point obvious to we going to quarterback in the quarterback talented class, and we draft four or five. Jones in his last year guaranteed with injuries. Time for kid quarterback to sit behind Jones a year and learn. That would be ideal, you know. That would be ideal. Get a young one of these young guys. Don't have to necessarily rush them in behind this bad offensive line. Get them all shell shocked from the beginning. I mean, that would be definitely ideal scenario. So this offensive line is a hat. It's going to be. I'm no longer expecting major improvements. Great results with the O line. Yeah, I mean, it just is what it is. Like I said, like we're the rank like 30th, 31st in the league. They're not going to all of a sudden just be good next year. It's just not. You hope that JMS can continue to trend upward. You would think he can continue to trend upward. You would hope Andrew Thomas continues to play at the level he's playing at because he's actually still playing very well. It's kind of going under the radar because the rest of the unit is so bad. But Andrew Thomas is still playing at that All Pro level out there at left tackle. So you hope he can maintain what he's been doing, and we'll see what happens, man. And we'll see what happens with this O line group. I mean, you do want to see them get better, but you can't expect them to just suddenly be good. That's why I just feel like you got to get a QB in there that can make this work with a group like this right now because it is what it is. Uh, let's see what else we got here. Said it's been a decade already. The line is the line. Yeah, man. At this point, it's just the franchise quarterback ain't on this roster, and I've had enough of DeVito side act B. I mean, yeah, it was like I said, DeVito was fun, but we all knew what DeVito was. I mean, undrafted rookie free agent, man. It was a fun story, man. It's good to see a local kid had that success and had that little 15 minutes of fame. It ran out. You know, it is what it is. I think if you were expecting DeVito, people were that thought DeVito was going to be the quarterback of the future. That was just delusional and crazy to even think that. I mean, it was clear that he wasn't going to be the quarterback of the future. But at the same time, open to this kid getting a fair opportunity to come in next year and really compete for a backup for the backup spot because he does provide a spark. He has a little bit of that moxie, and I mean I could see him coming in and getting an opportunity to compete for a backup spot. But he's not the guy. Obviously, he's not who you want to have to depend on week in and week out. You think that Miz says the O line ain't far off, still developing. Go get O line in the second and free agent veteran guard. I'm for real and a for real deal wide receiver. I mean, yeah, the team needs all of that. Obviously, this football team definitely needs all of that to be able to stay competitive and be able to compete. But I don't know. This offensive line needs new coaching because I don't think I'm not buying that the offensive line talent on this team is that bad. I think the coaching is that bad. Honestly, you're not going to convince me that all of these picks the New York Giants have picked, they just always pick the wrong. They've been picking the wrong guy every time. I'm not really ready to buy that. I think the coaching is the issue here. Whatever there's a disconnect there. Whatever's happening, whatever Bobby Johnson is telling these guys, it's just something not working. It's something. It's not right. Bo Nix is another guy. No, He's definitely another good potential piece here, man. I'm not as high on him as the other as any of the big three, but at the end, but I do like what Bo Nix brings to the table, and I think that he could potentially make some noise, but I think that's where I think the O line play comes a little bit more into play. I think the O line, like I said, with a guy like Jaden Daniels, I think he can weather the storm behind the O line like the New York Giants have. I think you got to understand the rest of your personnel when selecting some of these guys. You got to get a quarterback that can fit in what else you got to work with. And this O line, I think, is really presents itself to needing a guy like a Jaden Daniels type of guy, athlete behind there. behind this O line because you just need a guy that can just really make guys miss in the pocket and make some plays and use his legs to do some serious and get some serious work, man. But I do like Bo Nix. He's not a bad prospect, man. Uh, a new O line coach can definitely help. I mean, I'm all about moving Neil to guard because I think he's a situation where that's not necessarily. I'm not putting that on coaching necessarily. I'm putting that more on Evan Neal, and I just think he's not an NFL tackle. I don't think he's an NFL tackle. I don't I don't think I'm wrong on that assessment. I know offensive line is something that I can speak of and I just know about. It's like Justin Pugh wasted all those years. Justin Pugh's career earlier in his career, trying to force him to be a tackle just because he played tackle in college. Obviously, it just was successful at Syracuse, but got into the NFL with those little short alligator arms. He was never really truly an NFL tackle, man, and wasted all those years trying to keep him out there in that position that it just wasn't that wasn't wasn't a good position for him, man. And then kicks in the guard, plays a little bit better, goes out to Arizona. Has a few good years in Arizona, solid years, and now he's back here on the New York Giants playing guard, and not he's not really super great, but at the end of the day, he's been serviceable, earns himself a starting spot the rest of this season, and you got to just know when to do it. You can't just keep wasting guys' years, man. Like I think Evan Neal could probably potentially go in kicking guard and be a really good guard because he does run block pretty decent, and he'll probably have better success pass blocking from the inside. It's just because that's where it really kills me. His footwork out there at tackle is not good enough for the NFL, man. That's the big thing with Evan Neal is you watch his footwork out there at the tackle, but it's not good enough for the NFL level, man, for an NFL level tackle. So we'll see what they do. We'll see what kind of like I said, a lot of decisions to get made this offseason. But right now, Evan Neal, he's going to be getting surgery, so who knows when he's even going to be available again. Unfortunately, another injury the New York Giants have screwed up and dropped the ball on. That's something else the Giants need to look at is their medical staff. There's something not right there as well. And we'll see, man. He says JMS even hit a wall. Yeah, he definitely hit that rookie wall a little bit. But being Phillips and Pugh back on bench's depth, go get a veteran guard via draft tackle in a second. I mean, like I said, I think if you get a quarterback in that first round, you owe that kid a playmaker. You owe that kid a viable playmaker, man. So I think that's more the direction I would go. But like I say, when a team like the Giants has the amount of holes that the Giants have, options are endless, man. But at the end of the day, we've invested a lot in the offensive line over the course of the last few drafts. You got to get some guys. Got to get somebody here to coach these guys up at some point. You just can't just keep using the draft resources on the same positions year in and year out, over and over and over again. You got a lot of young guys in the offensive line room, and we got to get somebody that can coach these kids up, man. Because that's what it's coming down to with me now at this point. It's just not. It's the coaching, a coaching disconnect. I'm probably not going to be on much longer, Miz, man. But DeVito was a fun story, and the Giants are still in the business of selling tickets. The franchise needed the DeVito story. The NFL and the NFL media benefited from the DeVito attention as well. Absolutely did, man. Absolutely did. And the Giants definitely needed that this year, man. After the way the season was going for the Giants, they needed something like that. Needed that feel good story, man. Says Bobby, he sucks. Kafka can go too. I agree with that, man. I just don't think Kafka's aggressive enough as a play caller, man, and it's holding this offense back big time, man. And I know a lot of people are calling for Darren Waller's head, calling him a bust. I even see people comparing him to Kenny Galladay, the Kenny Galladay signing. And it's not. You got to pump the brakes on that. I think Darren Waller, man. I think he can be a bigger part of this offense with more competent quarterback play, man. I really do. I mean, I know he's had his share of drop passes and he's been injured and banged up this year, but I just think that he can benefit from more competent quarterback play. To be honest, man, because there's plays to be had and plays to be made as well. Sometimes where he's also being missed. You know what I mean? Just flat out missed on plays, and I think I think it's too early to just act like to say call Darren Waller a complete bust. I think that it's just been some situations that just haven't we haven't been able to see the best version of Darren Waller in this New York Giant offense this season. If we get left standing at the train station, if Giants don't grab their quarterback now in this class, and if we get left standing at the train station and train leaves, we're in deep shit for a long time. It's definitely a possibility, man. It's definitely a possibility, man. Jones going into year 6. We don't know who he is. That tells me he ain't him. Exactly. That's exactly the point. There should not be this much mystery and unknown surrounding Daniel Jones after 5 years. It just shouldn't be. So like that, you just said it perfectly. He's not him. He's definitely not him. But let me move real quick. Philadelphia's got a big one against the Cardinals. They can really on Sunday, coming up on Sunday, man. I think they can really benefit big time from a win here. I think a win will pretty much could just about basically seal the NFC East for them for the most part. I mean, I'm not. I don't think it. Maybe not. Maybe not quite. But I think it. I think it. A win. Come on. Yeah, I think a win. Yeah, I think a win is big for the Eagles this week. It'll be big for the Eagles. They another game that they absolutely need. They cannot afford to go in there and drop the ball against the Arizona Cardinals. So how this plays out for the Eagles, but this Eagle team, like I said, they can definitely lose to the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals have been playing much more inspired football since the return of Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is the kind of quarterback that could potentially get his Eagle defense fits, especially once he gets past that first level. If he can get everyone once he gets and James Conner is kind of running back also the same thing. You get past that first level of the Eagles defense, man, and and a lot of good things can happen for offenses, man, because the Eagles are so bad at this point that I think this team is this is definitely not a this is definitely not a walk in the park. Definitely not like a game the Eagles can just look past the Cardinals. It's a game that they should absolutely win for sure. But it's not a game that they can just look past the Cardinals here. They got to take this team seriously, man. I think that is absolutely ridiculous. 11 point, 10.5 point spread. Come on, man. This Philadelphia Eagle team does not deserve to be a double digit point favorite over anybody based on the way they've been performing all season long. That's just not realistic. I don't understand why the odds makers are still putting so much stake in this Philadelphia Eagles team. Like that's just ridiculous. Like, have you not been watching the same team I've been seeing all season? We can have explosive receiving corps, but like you said, they need someone that can throw it to them consistently. Yeah, man, that's what it's coming down to, man. Somebody that's willing to make plays out there for the New York Giants, man. They need somebody that can go out there and make the plays, man, and stop making excuses and trying to find all these little excuses, man. Look, we're not the only team with a bad offensive line, guys. That's just reality. We're not the only team in the league with a bad offensive line. At some point, you need production from your quarterback. That's why they get paid the top dollars that they get paid, man. And we need a guy that can go out there and make some damn plays consistently. Like I said, DeVito was making them for a few weeks, and it was no fun story, like I said. But that his time ran out. Tyrod Taylor has shown flashes with his opportunities this season as well. So it just it's I don't want to hear it. They've been playing, and they both, like I said, have both played behind the same terrible offensive line Daniel Jones is playing behind. So it just tells you everything more you need to know about Daniel Jones. It just further tells you that he's not the guy here. Said Adam was right on Jones. No need to be harsh towards Jones, but he ain't the guy. Yeah, I'm not. Like I said, I wish the kid all the luck in the world. Hope he can move on somewhere, find a new home in a couple of years, and in 2025, find a new home, go somewhere, and maybe get his career back on track. Maybe have potential to be a starter somewhere again sometime down the road. Like I said, maybe his career could take like a Geno Smith type trajectory where, kind of a backup for a few years and then maybe get another opportunity and take advantage of it. But it's just not going to happen here. Yeah, thanks, Biz. I appreciate that. I'm definitely going to get off in a few because I need to get back laying down and get some tea in me, man. I'm feeling really shitty. What's going on, bookends, man? Thanks for stopping in. Much appreciated, man. Arizona, though, I do think the Eagles will end up taking care of business here because I think they also do realize that these are not games that they can afford to lose. Going down the stretch, they got to and pretty much all the Eagles got to do is win. All they gotta do is win, and they'll win the NFC East, man. They win their last two games, and the NFC East is theirs, no questions asked. Tiebreaker scenarios do not set up well for the Eagles, so they want to avoid that by all costs. The Cowboys did them a solid by losing to the Dolphins this past Sunday, so they put them in really good prime position. Had the Eagles lost to the Giants on Monday, man, it would have been then. Things would have got a little. This is where things would have been a little more dicey for the Eagles, but I do see them winning this football game against the Cardinals. But like I said, I'm not buying that point spread. That Eagles just don't deserve to be that big a favorite over nobody, based off the way they've been performing. But they will win this football game probably by at least a touchdown on Sunday, I think. And we'll see how that works out for them, man. But like I said, this is fun. The season's coming down to the wire, man. It's coming down to the end. Probably going to be in store for our most, probably our most intriguing Week 18 ever in a couple of weeks. Like I said, as there probably will not be a lot of teams around the league sitting their players because most, even the AFC and the NFC, it's going to be a lot to be played. a lot of things getting played for it, man. So. Don't expect to see teams sitting out the guys. The Eagles won't be laying down for the Giants in Week 18. It's not going to happen. They're going to still be having a lot to play for, man. Yeah, I know he's got bench for this week. Sean Payton's not happy with him, with Russell Wilson. That's weird how that didn't work out, but landing spot will be, man. Says DJ get to a point where he wouldn't throw the ball. Easy for us to say, but that's unacceptable. Yeah, man. He's not even looking to make the plays down the field, man. It just got frustrating with him after a while, man. You said put some cough drops in the tea. Never tried that before. I'll get that a shot, man. Because I definitely need something, man. Everybody, man, I definitely do appreciate y'all coming through and listening to my sick ass for a little over an hour, man. I definitely appreciate it. Adam will be back next Wednesday. We're back at our regular time next Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Went on a little late because I was trying to give him a little more time to get on, and I actually honestly needed to lay down for a little bit myself after I got after work. So. But we'll be back on our regular time next week, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, man. Definitely appreciate all of y'all in the chat, man. Coming through and hanging, man. Make sure y'all sub up. Myself, Adam Costas, the Hardcore Sports Network, man. We're doing our thing right now, man. What's going on, Philly B, man? Appreciate you stopping in, bro. I'm trying to get right for New Year's Eve, man. Definitely trying to get right for New Year's Eve, dog. I'm most definitely trying to get myself back. I ain't missing the party, bro. I'm not trying to miss that party behind no dumbass head cold, no flu, man. So I'm ready to knock this shit out of me one way or another. About to rub that Vicks Vapor Rub on my chest, drink some nice hot tea, and I'm going to bed early tonight, man. But it's y'all boy MacDaGiantsFan, man. And I appreciate y'all coming through and have a very happy and safe New Year's holiday. Don't do anything stupid. Be smart, make good decisions, man. Enjoy the holiday, man. I'd like to thank you all for listening.
you was feeling this, please take time to subscribe and smack them likes. Feel free to drop a comment and let me know what you think. Don't forget to ring that bell so you know when I'm dropping new content. It's your boy, Mac the Giants Fan. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at Mac the Giants Fan. That's MACDA Giants Fan.